Hendrick and Steve Montgomery as we look at the Circus Circus, the boat that again did not draw the Miss Budweiser for this heat. They are still working on the Thor boat U7 at the dock. So there's a problem there, and there's a question whether that boat will even make the starting lineup as they come around. There's your list of boats. Oh boy, Alberto is in the race, but Thor Racing apparently getting started at the dock now. We'll see if indeed that boat can make it into the final field.
He's not on a plane at the 1-minute gun. He'll be black flag, and here comes Circus Circus leading off in Heat 2A, taking a quick lead on the outside once again.
Well, as we said earlier, that boat was, again, not matched up with the Miss Budweiser, so 400 points are up for grabs on this one. But I'll tell you, it looks like Chip Hanauer is going to have to work on it because the boat on the inside to the right of your screen, the Dayglow red boat, is the Winston Eagle of Jimmy Cropfeld. And Jimmy is giving no quarter at all. He's going to hold him in there and force Chip to ride high to the outside.
It looks as though the Winston Eagle, Jim Cropfeld, turned it and took the lead momentarily, but then coming down that front stretch, you can see, the back stretch, I should say, you can see that it was Circus Circus putting on the power. And now he goes through the turn in the lead. And still a very close race as we come down to complete lap number 1.
With only 3 laps to go, 141.850 miles per hour tells you the story. Right now, Chip Hanauer has got to be approaching 200 miles an hour on the front straight if he is going to hold off the Winston Eagle. It's faster than he ran in Heat 1B just a few minutes ago.
Now our backstretch camera picks him up coming off of corner number 2 in turn 1 and straightens it out to come down the back chute. And on the inside, you saw the glimpse of Winston Eagle and Jim Cropfeld. He's pushing him.
The Winston Eagle team, Steve Woomer's team, has been getting better and better. Jim Cropfeld has been feeling more and more confidence in the boat. He has really gotten himself into a position where he can be called a front contender. He is about ready to break into that bubble with the Winston Eagle, and when he does it, I know that the crew is going to be tremendously relieved. They've really been working hard.
I'll tell you how fast Jimmy Cropfeld is pushing him. This is the fastest lap of the day and faster than lap 1. 1:42.582 for this boat, the Circus Circus, Chip Hanauer driving.
And you can see that Chip got just a little bit light down there as he came around on the back stretch. That is really where the wind is, if there is any at all, and it is not much, so they have not been overly concerned with it. But we also have to remember, as we look at the third place boat, oh boy, Alberto, that as the wakes come off of these boats, each lap it gets a little bit rougher out on the course and things change. But look at the balance, the tiptoe of the Circus Circus. She is light from front to back, just barely touching the water. As we've said so many times, Jim, the surface of a man's handkerchief, that is the surface of the boat actually touching the water when it's running full out.
Only 3 points. As you said, the handkerchief part of the sponsors and half the prop. The other prop, half of that prop throws that rooster tail up, and that could be a weapon in some cases.
It certainly is, with upwards of 7 tons of water, the equivalent coming off that rooster tail, but no problem with rooster tails for Chip Hanauer as he takes first. Second place to the Winston Eagle. Third place in Heat 2A goes out to Mark Tate in the Oh Boy Alberto. So the good news for the Circus Circus team is that they are very much in the hunt and now leading it. They look on the course to see Thor being towed back in, but another 400 points for Chip Hanauer.
Chip, the good news so far, you beat everybody you raced all day, but you haven't seen Tommy yet.
No, we haven't seen him yet, and I think they're going to be real tough to beat on this particular kind of water in this race course.
You like the way the boat's handling? You found a fast lane.
Yeah, the boat's handling well. It's just not real quick today. I just doesn't have that zip that I need.
Can you try another prop or a different combination?
Yeah, we're going to try a different propeller and a different engine and see if we can get the boat to liven up a little bit.
And we can certainly understand that. The best of luck to Glenn Sanders in his retirement. Here's your lineup for Heat 2B. Miss Budweiser now looking to gather in another 400 points, only 173 points, separating the Miss Budweiser from the Miss Circus Circus in the national points standing. Right off the top, it is the Miss Budweiser taking the lead, Tom Deeth. Now that boat got a little bit hoppy out there earlier on. It was coming out of the water on the turns, but it looks like now that it's settled down a little bit, they probably adjusted. On the outside, second place, the rainbow-colored Jim presents Mr. Pringles with George Woods Jr. driving. Miss Budweiser trying to hold him off on the back stretch.
And you can see the difference in the lead as they come down to corner number 3. He hangs it on the hook, which is the skid fin that holds him in there very tight. Without that skid fin, you can't turn the boat, especially in high-speed turns. As he comes down the complete lap number 1 here in Heat 2B, his speed will be around 140, 141 mile an hour on lap number 1.
Interesting to point out at this point, now that we've seen these boats race a couple of times, that the Miss Circus Circus is holding right up there on speeds with the Miss Budweiser, which shows you the kind of match they have. Still very much in the hunt is George Woods in the Jif Presents Mr. Pringles, but again, it's a 3-lap race, so it's going to be tough for him to catch the Miss Budweiser with that kind of a lead. The Hulset Miss U.S. Star now riding in 3rd place. Mike Hansen had a little engine problem early on today, but is back into it.
And we just had a report the Coopers Express did not answer the gun because they have an electrical problem, and they remain on the trailer in the pits. So actually only 3 boats started.
Bad news for the Coopers Express after they won their shootout for the piston boats and then came in and had a good showing in the first heat out here today, but obviously no points will be going their way for this one. We take a good look at the Jif Presents Mr. Pringles, a very good ride on that boat. Again, that's a boat that they've been working on and progressing with all season long. This boat has actually been a threat to the turbine boats all year long, and in some cases has been able to capture some of the turbines and pass them on the course.
Here comes the completion of lap number 2. It'll be the green flag lap for Tommy Deeth of Fairhaven, Michigan, as we look at our 3rd place boat, Hulset Miss U.S. Star Mike Hansen. That boat out of Madison, Indiana.
And owned by many of the residents in Madison, Indiana. Bernie Little, the owner of this boat out of Lakeland, Florida. The Miss Budweiser, it is considered a cream of the crop or premier boat. And you can see why as we take that close-up look at it. A beautiful ride. Tommy Deeth now looking up to the starter's stand to see if indeed that checkered flag is out for him. If it was not out at the completion of the 3rd lap, it would indicate a penalty problem, but the flag is out. So 400 points and 1st place to Tommy Deeth. 2nd place goes to George Woods Jr. in the Jif Presents Mr. Pringles, and the Hulset Miss U.S. Star Mike Hansen out of Madison, Indiana will claim 3rd place for Bob Hughes and the crew standing on the dock right now. The winning boat again is the Miss Budweiser. Tom Deeth, here are your points as they stand for that heat. Let's go down to the pits and Tom Deeth.
Tommy, another heat that you did not draw, Chip Hanover of the Circus Circus. You want to draw him as much as he wants to draw you.
Yeah, because I'd like to get more points in front of him, and of course he'd like to get more points in front of me. So, but you know, that's the luck of the draw. You can't predict that. 2 for 2 for you, 2 for 2 for Chip of the Circus Circus. Now we're coming to heat 3. Maybe you'll draw him. It's quite possible. I know I'll see him in the final.
The 1990 Pringles Family Hydro Fest continues from Kansas City in the HFC American Hydroplane Series in a moment.
Steve Montgomery back here at Longview Lake, Kansas City, Missouri. We're about to start the action of Heat 3A here today. It'll be Mitch Evans. His boat is fixed, ready to go in the Coopers Express. Mike Hansen and the Hulset Miss U.S. Star. Bob Hughes represents that city as the boat manager. George Woods Jr. and Mr. Pringles. Chip Hanover in the Circus Circus. And again, the Circus Circus did not draw the Miss Budweiser, Dick.
As we watch the start of this heat, let's explain that the numbers of the boats are put in a hat after each set of heats, and then they are drawn out, and it's the luck of the draw as to how the lineup occurs. And again, as Jim said, the Circus Circus is riding alone in this one, and this could be important because it could be 400 more points, which means the Miss Budweiser will come back in the next heat and have another opportunity. Look at how the Miss Circus Circus was bouncing and causing a little bit of a porpoise maneuver of the boat as she came through the turn, and that's early on in the race, Jim. That's not much of a wake out there at this point. It's simply the conditions on the water, and this has been a very good course so far.
They said it's a little lumpy in corner number 2 of turn 1, and they like to take that a little wide, and they have problems there. That's where it could happen. As we look at our lead boat, you know, the Unlimiteds, Dick, have only raced in the Show Me state here in Missouri twice, both in 1983 and 84. That was in Lake of the Ozarks, but this is the first time they've appeared in a major city in Missouri, Kansas City.
And Kansas City's getting a little taste of Las Vegas here with the Miss Circus Circus, the Pink Lady out in the lead. 2nd place is the Jif Presents Mr. Pringles. And 3rd place right now, the Hulset Miss U.S. Star. There you can see she is passing up the slower boat, Coopers Express, on the inside of the course. So Mike Hansen now a solid 3rd place.
This has been one big week here. We've had hot air balloon races, tug of war between a couple of radio stations. We've had remote control boat racing, bow and cart show, and a celebrity golf tournament, all going on here in the Kansas City area.
Well, that's the way they like it with unlimited hydroplane racing, to become a part of an overall festival. And of course, this will cap off the week, and a tremendous crowd on hand to watch these races today. And actually, they're getting a good race back in third place as Mitch Evans is battling it out. He's not going to give up third place very easily to Mike Hansen. Second place still George Woods Jr. There's that battle once again. And look at Mitch Evans. Mitch takes the inside, and he takes third place away from Mike Hansen. Hansen again guns it. He seems to have the straightaway speed, but not by much.
As they come down now to complete their second lap, they'll have one more lap to go, and we really have a battle between these two boats from the state of Indiana.
And both of them fighting for third place, because it's points, and that's what they're looking at, especially under this Madison, Indiana format that they're running, where they run 3 heats of racing over the day for each of the boats.
As our leader now comes around corners number 3 and 4, let's go back to that battle for third, because you remember the electrical problem of the Coopers Express as we look at it right here. No points last time out. They need the points to get to the final. But the checker flag is out for the Circus as he comes down with the Mr. Pringles in second place.
Chip Hanauer just finding enough power to hold off the Chip Presents Mr. Pringles. George Woods Jr. in second place, but the battle for third. Watch out as Mike Hansen comes up and takes third place away from Mitch Evans in the Coopers Express. That's the way they finished. There's the points awarded.
Chip Hanauer in the Miss Circus wins Heat 3A, but speeds are down a little bit. The boat looked loose. Do you go the wrong way on the combination?
No, I think we went the right way. We've got to get the boat looser to be competitive, I think, with the Bud in the final.
Were you not driving as hard then?
No, I didn't. I took it a lot easier. Just try to keep my eye on the Pringles, make sure I knew where they were, and just try to stay ahead of them.
The points battle continues in the 1990 Pringles Family Hydrofest from Kansas City, Missouri, and will continue the battle in just a moment. We are back in Kansas City, Missouri for a continuation of unlimited hydroplane racing, and right off the bat, the boat heaviest involved in the points battle has a problem. The Miss Budweiser Thor Racing Team. It looks like Jerry Hopp is also signaling he's out. Jim, we come down to the start line with only 2 boats that can go for the points.
And it's the Winston Eagle with Jim Cropfell on the outside, Mark Tate and the Green Beauty on the inside, the Old Boy Alberto, as they go down to corner number 1. Oh, I'm telling you right now, the gauntlet was throwing. The Miss Budweiser, something's wrong, didn't get away from the pits. That's going to cost them 400 points. The lead for the World Championship HFC High Points will be down to 173. That's a tough break for Tommy D.
Well, if they've had an engine problem with that boat, rest assured they have other engines that they can put in there, and we still have not seen that boat match up against the Circus, and you certainly can't count out Steve Woomer's Winston Eagle. Jimmy Cropfell driving that boat. He's going to pick himself up 400 points if he holds it in there. Meanwhile, the Budweiser crew busy in the docks already working on that boat to get it ready for the final. Hopefully they'll have all the points in order for that. Jimmy Cropfell, though, no problem at all. He held off the Mark Tate driven boat, Oh Boy Alberto. Mark Tate will take second place in this one as they come down for the final finish. It's going to be a points battle in the final heat out here today. Checkered flag is out. Winston Eagle, the official winner. The pit crews in the pits working very hard, getting the other boats ready. Here's second place out to Mark Tate in Oh Boy Alberto. Let's go to Jim Hendrick in the pits.
Down here in the Budweiser camp, Bernie Little, you're not too happy. You now are only leading by 173 points going into this final heat and for the National High Point Championship.
Yeah, that's right, Jim. I think you've seen what happened.
No, tell me what happened.
Well, we failed to take off an inlet cover off of the engine, and it just overheated the back end section of it and just spit it out the back end. So therefore we fell behind 400 points, and actually for an easy victory we had everything went to hell, pardon the expression.
I think we can understand those feelings, and here you see a boat that battled some earlier problems and then battled the water in this last heat to come out a winner with 400 points and is now contending.
Well, Jimmy, that's a while in coming. Has to feel good.
Well, I'll tell you what, we've been waiting a long time. The Winston Eagle guys been thrashing and thrashing, and it seems like the bad luck's been going our way every heat, and all kind of problems. And first heat we broke down, and the guys came right back and put things together for me. We went on one. We changed a lot of tactics. I put my uniform on a different way. I changed everything I was doing, and it worked.
All right, Steve Woomer, as the owner, you have pretty much figured out you may just still be the provisional starter.
Yeah, it appears as though right now we're the provisional starter, and you know, the Winston guys, You know, like Jim said, we have no good luck, but we keep pushing and we keep trying, and finally this time we got a little lady luck. So the Winston Eagle's in there trying every week, and we'll get there.